What's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post commentary and critique and reaction videos on basically anything on the internet that interests me, ranging from pop culture to internet culture and anything in between. So if any of that interests you, then be sure to go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. Alrighty guys, so in today's video we have a big update on the whole David Dobrik, Seth and Trisha Paytas drama. Now if you're not sure what I'm referring to, I have two videos where I've spoken about the topic, so I'll go ahead and link them down below. The initial video is where I speak about the whole Seth situation, which I will sum up in this video, and then I go ahead and speak about Trisha's response to all of it and response to AB kind of defending David Dobrik, and I'll go ahead and link that video down below for you guys to go ahead and watch. But in today's video, we are going to be kind of reacting to Scotty Sire's video. So Scotty Sire is a member of the vlog squad who has come out and made a video in defense of David Dobrik against the allegations made by Seth, who is a previous member of the vlog squad. Now if you aren't sure what the allegations are, to sum it up, he's accused David Dobrik of SA. I will put the text on the screen here because I can't say it. And he basically is accused him of that based on this incident where David Dobrik convinced him to go ahead and kiss Corinna Kampf, and Corinna Kampf came out and said she was going to put on this costume, and then she left the room and Jason put on the costume. So he consented to kissing Corinna Kampf in a kind of ugly old man costume, but ended up kissing Jason Nash instead. So he did not consent to kissing Jason Nash. However, they are claiming that he did consent to the second time that this prank was performed, because there was this giant prank where they got Seth a job in a commercial, and Seth went and did the job and he had to make out with someone in a gorilla costume, which let's not even talk about the racial undertones there. And then that person in the gorilla costume was Jason Nash, so he ended up kissing Jason Nash again. But they're saying that he consented to kissing Jason Nash a second time, and they have video proof of this. However, they do not have video proof of him doing it the first time. But Scotty Sire's response to this is basically like, you know what we do in the vlog squad, you get it, this is what we do. But we'll get into it in today's video. We have a lot to get into, and without further ado, let's get into it because I'm about to dive in to today's drama. Let's get it. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about Scotty Sire's video. So in his video, he says basically that he is sick of seeing his friends being dragged through the mud for false allegations, and that is why he's coming to their defense in this video. And people are questioning in the comments why he's doing this and not Jason or David, but he says that the vlog squad doesn't address rumors, lies, and gossip because it just draws attention to it. And then he goes ahead and basically speaks to David and Jason's characters, basically saying they're nice guys, they're great guys, David doesn't have a mean bone in his body. But at the end of the day, Scotty is really biased because he's best friends with them. Of course he's going to say nice things about them, and saying the whole argument of like, oh well, they were nice to me, so how could they have done that to you, is a really weak argument. But let's move on to the rest of his argument. So he says people come and go from the vlog squad because they grow apart, their career path changes, or they just don't want to be in the videos any longer, or they do something that basically makes the rest of the people distance themselves from them because they've done something wrong. So we don't know what category Seth falls under, I guess, but he's basically just saying that yes, you know, people do leave the vlog squad for substantial different reasons. And he says that people need to be careful with what claims they make, especially if they're not verified. And he accuses people of lying and damaging people's lives for no reason, although he doesn't say who he's referring to, but then later he speaks about Seth. So I assume, based on him inferring this, that he's talking about Seth and is accusing Seth of lying. And he says, and I quote, "Don't call it sharing your truth if you're sharing a lie." And then basically he talks about Seth accusing David Dobrik of SA, and he says, and I quote, "It's effed up because he was part of the videos and he knows what we do." So I think that's a pretty weak argument, saying, you know, you're part of the videos, you know what we do here, like what do you expect? That doesn't excuse the fact that he didn't consent to what was done to him. Regardless of the second time that it happened, we're talking about the first time that it happened. He consented to kissing Corinna Kampf, he did not consent to kissing Jason Nash. And in this entire video, might I add, Scotty doesn't even talk about all of the racial jokes that were made against Seth. There were jokes where they filled a fridge full with watermelons, which is playing on that racial stereotype. And then there was a joke where they put peanut butter on their face, basically doing blackface. And then there was a joke where they were taking him to the police station for his unpaid parking fines. And we all know how police brutality is towards African Americans. So they don't even address all of those racial undertones. But back to the SA, we'll talk about this. So he includes a video where basically Seth is consenting to David Dobrik doing it a second time. And he says that David Dobrik included him asking Seth for consent, but he didn't include Seth Seth's response in the video, because his videos are really condensed and short and they're 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. So he didn't have enough time to basically show Seth's response, which was saying, yes, basically, like, you can do it if you can, but you're not going to catch me out a second time. And then he shows a clip of Seth basically being like, David, you're awesome. Like, I can't believe you got me again, like, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't negate the fact that he still didn't consent for the first time that it happened to him. And also the fact that he's getting all swept up in everything. You can get into things and not realize that what you're doing is wrong and will affect you in the future. And he's saying that it hurt him. And to David's credit, he did delete the video when Seth expressed to him that it hurt his feelings and that it made him upset that all these things happened to him. I sort of think that negates the fact that he felt like he was hurt and that he was SA'd. And I think that you can't blame the victim in that scenario, which is what Scotty seems to be doing. And then Scotty basically says that Seth actually came up with a lot of the ideas for the skits and the pranks that David performed in his videos, not the kissing ones, but other ones. And he said that he partook in these pranks and he never once said that he was uncomfortable about it. But there are plenty of instances where victims don't speak out straight away and then they speak out later on, and that doesn't negate the fact that they were still uncomfortable in that situation. So I once again think that's kind of a weak defense. And then he basically shows a clip of proof that Seth performed pranks on other people as well, which is basically a prank where Jason Nash had his eyes closed and then Seth shoved his behind in his face and pulled down his underwear, and Jason opened up his eyes and then Seth's butt was in his face. Now, this is probably, if Jason wanted to say a form of essay, he could, but he hasn't come out and said it. And, you know, he could come out and say it, but I think it's kind of like he's just trying to paint Seth in a bad light and basically say that, like, Seth, you did these things that were wrong, and basically later on goes to call him a clout chaser when he includes this clip of Seth basically consenting to doing it again, if not asking David to do it again.
Guys, this is a text from Seth from about 2 years ago. He goes, yo, bro, I was thinking about it. I'm down for another kissing sketch. I said, haha, what do you mean? He goes, lol, I don't really care as long as you clout me up. I'm not gay, just don't care. And then he sends me this.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's not really a big deal. It's the same shit. Just, I don't know, more open-minded.
Now, I will admit, this is a little bit fishy. This is fishy. Why is Seth asking to do the prank again? He says, lol, I don't really care as long as you clout me up. So I do think that this changes the entire game. This changes the entire accusations, because why is Seth asking for it to happen to him again and proving that he was doing it for clout? Because he says, I don't care, as I just want you to clout me up. It's such a tricky situation now, because Seth came out and accused them of SA, but now there's video footage, like proof of him asking for them to do it to him again and basically saying that he wants it for the clout. Now, yes, that's not to negate the fact that he could still feel some type of way and they still did not get consent for him for the first time, but I just think that now his claims and accusations are they're being strained by this proof that David has come out with. But I also want to ask, why isn't David making his own video? Why is he getting Scotty to do his work for him? I'm not saying that David asked Scotty to do it for him, but he's recording this clip, which we know probably has happened now after the accusations, because why would he have filmed it otherwise? So David, why don't you just come out and make your own video in your own defense instead of getting your minions to do it for you? He then says that Seth posted revenge, PORN, adult content of their friend Aaron. So that's horrible, absolutely horrible, but I wonder why he's bringing it up. It just seems to me like he's trying to paint Seth in a bad light so that people are no longer going to take his claims as truth or take his claims seriously, and one bad action does not cancel out another bad action. But I just want to make it clear that if Seth did do that, that is horrible and that is wrong and that's disgusting, but it's a separate issue. And then he basically just calls Seth a clout chaser in layman's terms. He basically says that you were part of the videos, you partook in these pranks, you came up with some of these pranks and you did them, and you were part of David's videos, and you were probably hoping that you could get some sort of career out of it, and that didn't happen for you. And I can understand that you could be uncomfortable with past actions and regret some of the things that you've done, but don't blame that uncomfortableness on us. It all sounds very victim blamey to me, and who knows, maybe Seth is a clout chaser, but that doesn't negate the fact that he didn't give consent the first time that it was done to him. It's different with the other two pranks, but we're not talking about those. We're talking about the first incident, and when you're all wrapped up in it, you can almost think that you want the thing to be done to you, but then later on you realize, like, oh no, it was just because you were trying to get approval from the people that you were with, and there were all these pressures on you. And when you're in in a group like that, I've been in friendship groups with guys where you feel pressured and peer pressure to do things, and you feel like you just want to get their approval and you just want to be friends with them, so you'll do anything just to like make them happy. And who knows, maybe that's what Seth was going through. And then Scotty basically says that he didn't get anything out of it, so Seth's going after them, which I just think is a very bold claim to make, mister. He then includes a couple of clips of Seth saying things like, oh, if I showed my mom this, she would have laughed, or don't dish it if you can't take it, all that kind of stuff. Once again, he's allowed to change his mind and allowed to feel differently. I do understand where Scott is coming from, but I also understand where Seth is coming from, and I just don't like the way that Scott is trying to basically negate or victim shame Seth. There's no proof that Seth still doesn't feel like he was SA'd that first time, okay? Like, it's a tricky situation, and I don't think Scott should have made this video. If anyone should have made a video, it should have been David. Scotty then says, and I quote, "I think the magnitude of your lies are unforgivable and you deserve to face repercussions." Now, how can you say that he was lying about getting SA'd that first time? That's his feelings. His feelings cannot be a lie. If he felt like he was SA'd in that scenario, he was SA'd. He did not give consent to kissing Jason Nash. He gave consent to kissing Corinna Calm, but not Jason Nash. It was done without his consent. That's the whole point when it comes to SA, is it's non-consensual. So how can you claim that he's lying? And he basically keeps going on about it, about how Seth consented to doing it the second time and asked to do it the third time. And sometimes victims do strange things where they go back to their abusers and they repeat behaviors and they kind of accept behaviors and keep, you know, participating in them. But that doesn't change the fact that he didn't consent to the initial time, the first time that it happened, and he could regret what happened to him. And that doesn't change the fact that he might have been coerced into them. And yes, the third time he said that it was his idea, but David has power over them because he basically can make or break their careers. It's a whole power trip. I think that in that scenario, David should have just said, you know what, like, no, let's not do it a third time. Like, it's happened twice. Why do we need to do it again? But then again, I guess you could also argue, how would David have known that years later Seth would have come out saying it would make him uncomfortable? The entire situation is just super, super tricky now. But I think believe the victim always. He then comes for Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast, basically saying that he would basically take what they would say and then reword it and make it sound worse. Okay, whatever. Like, he's an interviewer just basically reframing their words. I think that he's just trying and grasping for straws at this point. And he keeps bringing up the revenge PORN, which Aaron did, which is horrible if that's true. And if it is, Seth should definitely be held accountable for that. But one negative action does not cancel out another person's negative action. He then says that this should be handled in a courtroom and that he hopes that they get in trouble for their lies. That's basically Scotty's video. Basically kind of flip-flopping, grasping for straws, kind of a mess. I do see his point that why did Seth ask for the third time? But like I said before, sometimes victims do things that are strange to us because we're not the ones in the situation, so we can't speak on that. So Trisha made 2 videos on this situation. One was titled Scott is victim blaming and being an all-around dumbass, and then the second was titled David Dobrik is a coward. Now you can go ahead and watch the videos yourself, because she basically says in the videos basically what I was saying, that he shouldn't be invalidating Seth's feelings. Why was he the one doing this when Jason and David should be talking about this? And he was not there, so he cannot substantiate the claims that Seth makes, and Seth's feelings are his own feelings, so don't invalidate the victim's feelings. But that's it for me in this video, guys. I would like to know what you think in the comments down below. I'm very interested in this situation. I think it's very, very messed up. And I just think that in order to resolve this, Jason and David should come out, apologize to Seth publicly, so that we can all move on with the situation. And hopefully Seth can get the apology that he deserves. And hopefully Erin can get her an apology from Seth as well, if it's true that Seth did leak revenge PORN of her, she deserves an apology as well. This is just getting messier and messier. Now, if this is true, then Seth, you've got some explaining to do. But yeah, guys, that's it for me in this video. Give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts. I would love to know your thoughts on this whole situation. And if you've not already, please make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload from me. And if you would like to go ahead and follow me on all my social media, it's just linked down below, as well as the link to my second channel, my merch, my podcast, and my Cameo. Alrighty guys, that's it for me in this video. I hope to see my next one. And as always, I hope that you have a great day or night, wherever you are in the world. Bye!